Very cool.
Okay, we have a bucket load of Games Workshop news this week.
Yeah.
Some big releases have come out, including the Beasts of Chaos. I'm just dying.
Are we going to have to revisit our reading?
Oh god, I want to do Beast Man.
Do it.
A reading.
Do it.
That was one of our finest.
You do not want to be touched by a Beast Man.
Still gives me shivers.
Oh man,
Especially with the new audio equipment.
Beast Man a reading is gotta happen, man. But it's I'm glad to see the Beasts of Chaos. You know,
Yeah.
I think Age of Sigmar needs something like this. You know,
Yeah.
some fleshy grittiness.
They are probably the grittiest part of the world that was.
Oh god, yeah. Okay, can you bring it up a bit bigger, Justin?
yeah,
I want to see the big beasts
Yeah.
in
I'll get
all their
closer, please.
glory.
Yeah, the big, huge one in the top left corner here is really impressive. With the 4 arms.
Now,
That's an old one.
I have a slight criticism,
Uh-huh.
okay, and that's looking at that army,
Do
right?
you not
Yeah.
look hungry?
Well, no, it's not that. It's just it's quite difficult to tell one thing from another a little bit. Do you not think that it almost comes across a little bit as a blur? You know, maybe that's just the style of it, but there are other armies where you look at it and you get that sense of the different things within the army. You know, obviously with Beastmen, how different can you make it? They're
Actually,
all beasts.
well,
I
no, this is
suppose.
the thing. I said I wrote that news one, and all of these are still old models. The only new model we got to see there were the Herdstone
Yeah.
and the various spells that the Beastmen now get to use.
Mhm.
But all of the
Oh, nice.
yeah,
Yeah.
they are some very cool.
Justin,
spell
they've
effects.
got the horn, man.
Yep, and they've got a half burning bull.
Why not?
That is awesome.
Yeah.
Impressive.
Actually, the spells are the best part of it.
Yeah.
Now. Yeah.
But the my problem with the beasts is it's all the old models from their previous update, and I really don't like them, especially the Minotaurs.
I hate the Minotaur models. I
Yeah.
cannot stand the look of them. They look
these
so
are
weird.
These are the legendary Minotaurs that have muscles on their muscles. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these guys on the left-hand side.
Yeah, them. I really don't like them. But then you also have like that character in the center
Mm.
who is a classic old sculpt who is fantastic. You get that bestial look. And I'm very disappointed that I hope we get to see some new stuff for the Beasts of Chaos, because they have the potential to be one of the most vibrant forces in Age of Sigmar.
Yeah.
They are
do, yeah.
pure mutation.
Mhm.
And some of the other monsters they have in their list that you don't get to see there are brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I hope we get to see some of that reflected in their ground troops. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. We also have the Boomdaka Snazwagon.
Yes.
Oh, I love this thing. I am totally sold.
Ben, tell us about it, man.
Yeah, sure. So this is one of the vehicles that you're going to be getting inside the Speed Freaks box when that comes out, I think in October, or October, as they're calling it.
Yeah.
And actually, when we look onto the next link, which was all about the news from Nova, you'll be able to see that box set in a little bit more detail. But this was just a quick look that came out, I believe, from the Warhammer Citadel opening, which was the new cafe that's been opened over in America. This was also where they showed off the model that you can see underneath that, which is one of the massive Trogoths that's going to be coming into the world of Warhammer Underworlds and their new version of the game, their new second box set. So yeah, some really cool stuff coming out from that front. But yes, if you go over to the next link on this Games Workshop stuff, you'll see that they actually showed off a reveal trailer for Speed Freaks, as well as the contents of the box as well, which was really cool. So yeah.
So Speed Freaks, that's
Well,
what is it? Is it basically
Orc
like
vehicular mayhem.
it's like
Yes.
a destruction derby kind of a thing, yeah?
As only
So,
the
yeah.
orcs can do it.
Yeah, you're going to have the two different orc clans, as you can see there, and it's all about racing around on the board, blowing each other up. It's a little bit like a destruction derby with a Mad Maxian stuff thrown into it as well. It's taking all the things that people loved from that old game of Gorka Morka and adding the race element into a new boxed game. One of the big things they've said is, of course, you've got the vehicle you saw there. There's also going to be the custom booster blaster, which is the other vehicle that has been shown off in some of the teaser videos earlier in this month. But then, of course, you're going to be able to throw in all the other war buggies as well. So there's going to be a real sort of sense of customization and mech boying these things and digging through your bits box, as is the proper way to play orcs, and putting some really cool stuff down to the tabletop to play around with. So it'll be really cool to see how that goes down. So.
What other stuff came out of Nova, Ben?
Some of the other stuff that came out of Nova was actually a little bit of a preview for the Sisters of Battle. So last time we had a look at the Sisters of Battle, they showed off some of the weaponry for them. This time around, they showed off the head designs for the Sisters of Battle, and also the news that we're also going to be seeing a version of the Codex in a collection called Chapter Approved at the end of the year. So there's going to be a beta version of the Codex that was meant to come out in 2019 at the end of this year, so you can test out the Sisters of Battle for yourself and see whether or not you like them, and obviously feedback to the Games Workshop team as well, which is a really cool thing for them to be doing. So a nice little bit of community spirit there. As well as on the front of 40k, we also got some new stuff for the Imperial Knights. So House Griffith is going to be landing on the tabletop. Now, I will say I don't know too much about the Imperial Knights as a whole. They're kind of an area of 40k that I'm not entirely clued up on, but the new stuff that they're bringing out with the new transfers and options and things like that, as well as the new character and hero model there too, and some of the weapon options you can see there too, are looking absolutely fantastic. And I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that are going to be picking up some more Imperial Knights, because it seems to be one of the big things that people are taking on as their hobby projects and painting projects right now.
Yeah.
The final bit of news for Warhammer 40,000 was Warhammer Quest related.
Mhm.
Now, Warhammer Quest is stepping away from its fantasy roots, and obviously we saw the revamp of it in what we saw for Age of Sigmar, and now we're going to be seeing Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress, which is going to be a new take on the grim dark exploration on the tabletop, but a little bit of dungeon delving, but in a sci-fi setting, which will be very, very cool to see how that plays out.
That has the potential to be flipping staggeringly good. Like, I mean, staggeringly good.
You'll starry-eyed Warren going, oh my God, I want.
You know, it's one of the it's one of the things. You know, back I remember when we were playing Space Crusade and Space Hulk as kids. You know, especially Space Hulk. You know, it was right. I want to get orcs in here. You know, a space dungeon crawler is just crying out. And if they base this around maybe the Inquisition,
Oh, that would be fun.
you know, so you basically have your demon hunters and things like that going out.
See,
There's a
I'd
lot
nearly
you
stick
could
to
do.
more of a rogue trader thing, them going in to search derelict ships.
So you're kind of Firefly kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Thing is, it's been done. You know, there's loads of games out there that already kind of do that and probably do it better. You take Core Space, for example.
Fair point.
You know, it's Core Space is absolutely fantastic at that, and the ultimate kind of space dungeon crawler in that sense. Where 40k has its true power is in its background, especially that kind of the inquisitorial imperial background.
Where I think 40k has its strength in this regard is there is lots of potential for that small warband surrounded by monsters.
Oh, you could collect monsters till they are coming out of your oxters.
Well, the interesting thing about this then obviously is because it's tied into this idea of a Blackstone Fortress. Now, Blackstone Fortress is a massive alien constructed effectively living weapons that exist out in space. I'm fairly sure they've existed in 40k before in the past, I believe, as well. Not sure when they came up, but this one has been newly discovered, and from the trailer you get the idea that it's maybe either an inquisitorial team or something to do with those kind of like piratical guys, as Justin was saying, on the fringes of the galaxy looking to claim it for themselves. I think it's probably going to have a little bit more of that inquisitorial side to things, which would be really cool to see. But it'd be really nice to see what kind of Xenos stuff they throw in there as well. So what's living inside the Blackstone Fortress, that kind of thing. So,
There's a type of game I'm surprised Games Workshop have never made, which is a worker placement game managing a Forge world.
There's one for them to license out right there.
Yeah.
You know,
WizKids are the guys in charge of all their board game stuff at the moment, because they're doing lots of stuff with Talisman and of course with the Dracula game as well. So
that's a style of game I would like to see played out. You can be a little more abstract with it and actually have it that you are the fabricator general of a Forge world, managing the tech priest, the serfs. You know, you can have like mutant uprisings and stuff happening as you play through the game. It could be really fun.
That would be a cool one.
Imagine the power of that game for a club campaign.
Yes.
Where if you were playing a long-term narrative campaign and you wanted to introduce knights and titans and things like that, you had to manufacture them first.
Yeah.
So you get a club night going on a Monday night where you're going through your manufacturing process, and whatever you unlock is what you could then play at the weekend.
That could be fun. That could be a good tie-in game.
Yeah.
From from the beginning of it, you could even have kill teams going in and they find the remains of an old titan or something and as you go on, the whole basis is trying to build up your Titan.
Yeah, but it's not even that. You could use it to actually build the armies you're playing with. What you're manufacturing is what you're able to arm your stuff with. So depending on how well you're doing in one game, can determine how well you're doing in the other game.
There's a lot of potential for that.
Yeah. Before you move on from the Games Workshop, there is one single thing I want to point out in that list. If you could bring it up and go down to the bottom. There is one single new release that, of course, caught my eye. Well, that one is one of them, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
the Warhammer Underworld's Night Vault. Some really cool new miniatures.
Well, before you move off it, tell me about Night Vault, Ben.
So the story of Warhammer Underworlds is passing onwards because of the events that happened with Age of Sigmar and going into second edition, where Nagash was creating these massive necroquakes all across the world. The area of Shadespire was not untouched by this, and so the Stormcast Eternals are having to send through their Sacrosanct Chamber once again to try and take on the forces of the Nighthaunt, who are led by the Briar Queen, as you can see there modelled with her chain rasps. One of the other really cool things about Night Vault is that it also adds in a new mechanic to the game, and that is the ability to cast spells. Now, there were, of course, abilities in the original Warhammer Underworlds, but now in this one, you've got spells that you've got to take to the table as well. And these are a little bit more dangerous and a little bit harder to get off when you're doing your tactical plays on the table, but they should lead to some interesting sort of stuff coming together for tournaments and things like that. So, yeah, very cool.
All right. And then Sam, I'm guessing this is something.
Yes, Ben?
I will also say that Troggoth that we saw before in the last story, that little flying squig is another little teaser towards one of the factions that's going to be coming out for Warhammer Underworlds in this new version of the game. So very cool.
So that flying squig is a beautiful thing.
I can't wait to see that.
Look at that.
And this is the one that I'm guessing Sam wanted to show.
Of course.
Gandalf the White with Frodo.
No, that's not Frodo. That's Pippin.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I'm getting stuff wrong again.
There's Justin showing his Lord of the Rings mega knowledge all over again. Justin,
I know there was a ring. I know they went for a walk. I know someone fell into fire. I think that's about it.
Justin, we need to double check now. Can you bring that image up? Are they carrying any bows and arrows on that horse?
Some people are too rough for their own good.
Yeah, a massive thank you from the rest of the team to everyone who posted.
I've been getting it in the neck all week.
Posted such kind comments to Justin
on YouTube,
who completely just on the spur of the moment decided that archers would never be effective on horseback.
I looked at it. I thought they wouldn't be effective. I can be wrong. I'm human.
Yeah. If I only had a time machine, man, and send you back to the time of Genghis Khan and get the Mongols, they would soon show you, man. There's two things that they were very effective at, and both you would like. Okay, so number one, it's actually three interesting things. Number one, they were highly effective archers on horseback.
Okay,
incredibly well trained. Okay, very effective, and it opened up all sorts of tactics for the Mongols, and hence why they became pretty much a world dominant. Conquering. Secondly, they wore silk shirts.
Silk shirts, really?
Yes.
Silk shirts. Now, why do you think they wore silk shirts?
More comfortable?
It had everything to do with fashion, man. Yeah. The reason
comfort is not fashion. Comfort is I have been in the saddle for maybe 12 hours. I'm not chafing.
But these were Dolce & Gabbana shirts. The reason they wore silk shirts, Justin, is when they'd get penetrated with an arrow, the arrow would wrap up in the silk.
Right.
It wouldn't go through the silk, and then the silk and arrow would go in, and then all they had to do was basically pull on the actual silk shirt, and it brought the arrow out of their body.
Okay.
So it was a strange sort of bulletproof, arrow-proof vest.
I think you mean some form of stab-proof vest.
Yeah. Well, it was effective anyway. Obviously, if it hit a major organ, you were in trouble anyway. No amount of Dolce & Gabbana is going to get you out of that, man. Right. And then finally, the third thing, the bit that you are going to love, is the way they cook their meat.
Right.
Okay. So what they would do is they would get a slab of meat.
Right.
Okay. And they would put it under the saddle.
Under the saddle
of their horse. And then they would ride around all day, and the heat of the horse's sweat would cook the meat.
Now,
that's odd.
I've had Mongolian barbecue. They didn't explain it like that to me when I had that.
Well, I don't know if they still do it that way, man, but that was how they cook their meat. So
that one I'm going to call on.
Be careful,
on it.
Be careful, dude, because our Mongolian experts out there they're going to jump to my defense on this one.
Okay, well, I'm going to pick the colours to the mast and say that one sounds like.
I'm giving you.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
All you have to do to redeem yourself here was just nod and go, "Yeah, that's interesting, Warren. I knew all that." But no, you're opening yourself up to all kinds.
Ben, move us on. Move us on. Next news piece.
The heat of the horse's sweat under the saddle would actually tenderize and cook the meat.
Are you sure it's not him bouncing up and down that's tenderizing the meat?
Well, it's a part and parcel of all of it. Yeah. Tender meat and veg.
You're in that one, Sam.
Courtesy of the Mongols.